Hi everyone and welcome to a quick video about Civilization 6 Winter 2016 update, which was just released alongside 2 new content DLCs, which we'll also talk about in this video after the patch notes. So, without further ado, let's go through all the patch notes, shall we? There is now an Earth map with standard size. There's also an alert action for units. You can put a unit to sleep until they spot an enemy. Good change, that's basically the feature that existed in previous Civilization games. You could argue it should have been there right from the start, but it's a good thing that it's there now. We'll also have scenario setup menu. Jump into scenarios more easily within the single player menu. This only shows up when a single player scenario is available and enabled, as can be found in both the new DLCs. There's also a new replay option to wonder completion movies. And next we got gameplay updates. Religious units may now fortify until healed. Good change. Coastal raids can now pillage districts in addition to the buildings within. Also pretty good one, that makes coastal raids more powerful. Great admirals are no longer allowed to spawn on wonders in water tiles. For example, the Great Lighthouse, so they cannot become stranded in lakes. Yeah, that's a good change because previously you could have a Great Admiral completely stranded on a lake and unable to ever get out of there. Next up we got balance changes. Cities can no longer receive yields from more than one regional building per type. They take the highest. For example, production from multiple factories. So this is easily the biggest balance change in this patch, because on one hand, you'll no longer have to build clustered factories if you want to maximize your production. This is something you kind of had to do now, because production bonuses from factories overlapped. So if you wanted to maximize your production in 2 or 3 top production cities, you had to take advantage of as many overlapping bonuses as possible. And this required a fairly specific city setup. You no longer have to do that. However, this is a direct nerf to production. Now, there are some production cost changes to compensate for this, but not everything got lowered production cost. Mostly just wonders and space race projects. So this is a direct nerf to production. It's hard to tell how this will affect the game without actually playing through a full game. But production will become even more valuable, because production has always been the most important yield in the game, but now it will become even harder to maximize it, especially in your top production cities. It wasn't too hard to have 2 or 3 very high production cities that took advantage of multiple factories. But now this will no longer be possible. It does give you a little bit of extra flexibility in how to set up your cities, but it nerfs production. There's no way around that. It is a nerf to production. Anyway, let's move on. Cities can no longer receive amenities from more than one regional building per type. They take the highest. For example, amenities from multiple stadiums. Same story here, you can no longer get a lot of amenities from overlapping bonuses. So this is a direct nerf to amenities. It usually wasn't necessary, but again, it's hard to tell how this will affect the game without actually playing. Still, there's no way around it, this is a nerf to amenities. Next up, decrease production costs of wonders progressively. So this is a direct result of the production change. From the industrial era about -10% to the atomic era about -40%. So that is a major decrease of the production cost, but at the same time remember that production was just directly nerfed. Then we got decreased production costs of all space race projects by 40%. This was a much needed change even without the production nerf, because a lot of the space race projects were ridiculously expensive. So now it will be a little bit easier to get the science victory, because you won't need 2 or 3 cities with ridiculously maximized production. Then we got increased research costs of technologies and civics progressively, from the industrial era about +5% to the information era about +20%. This is a good change because it was pretty easy to just blitz through these eras very quickly, especially if you maximized your science. Now they will be a little bit slower, which in my eyes is a good thing. Next, we got increased faith from mission, that's the Spanish unique tile improvement, and increased culture from chateau, that's the French unique tile improvement, lowered the minimum unit upgrade cost, improved clarity on warmongering penalties associated with taking a Civ's final city, Good one, so the penalty didn't change, it's just more clear that the penalty is actually there to begin with. Most civilization unique districts now require population to construct, just like normal districts. This is a pretty big change. This is essentially a nerf to unique districts. It's hard to tell whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, because unique districts were massively powerful, and they are still really damn good, but this is definitely a nerf to unique districts, to any civilization that actually has a unique district. Next up, Spaceport District no longer requires population to construct. Yeah, that's a good one, because sometimes you end up with your top production cities already being at their district limit, and unable to get one more district from population anytime soon, because it's just too hard to grow them enough to get another one. So this is a good change, and it essentially makes science victory a little bit easier, because you can always construct a spaceport in your top production cities now, while until now you had to kind of plan that kind of thing in advance. Next we got some AI tuning. Improved AI deal negotiations and analysis. Yeah, that's a good one, because let's just say AI deal analysis was not very good. That's an understatement of the year. Improved AI handling of promises, including that they are more likely to agree if they like you, and will also consider how trustworthy a civ is by whether they've kept previous promises. Alright, next, improved tactical handling of great admirals and great generals. That's a good one. Improved AI interest in Terracotta Army. Yeah, that's also, well, it's bad for the player, because it will make it harder to build the Terracotta Army, but the Terracotta Army is a massively powerful wonder. If you're playing a domination game, or if you're playing with a lot of warmongering involved, Terracotta Army is one of the best wonders in the game, because it gives you an upgrade to every single unit you own. The archaeology's part is actually kind of irrelevant in this context, but it's one of the best domination/warmongering oriented wonders, if not the best one. So next we got improved handling of leaf techs, improved building of forts. I don't actually remember seeing AI build forts, so this will be interesting to see. Improved resource grabbing in late game, improved Last Viking King agendas analysis for who is in the bottom percentage of navies, improved handling of several complaints for CUDA messages from AI, rebalanced Catherine's evaluation of the no spying promise, and AI will not try to convert unconvertible cities. Yeah, I noticed AI sometimes really insists on converting a city they cannot really convert, so this is definitely a good change. Next we got bug fixes. Fixed several unique buildings that weren't getting their yields indicated by various game effects, so policies. Fixed an issue that allowed the Goddess of the Harvest Pantheon bonus to stack. Fixed it so loading screens now show the correct text and play matching voiceover. Fixed an issue that blocked certain relationship-based diplomatic actions. Fixed an issue where incomplete encampment districts were able to attack. Yeah, that one was pretty funny. Fixed an issue where you could declare war on friends or allies by moving units. Didn't run into that one, but that sounds pretty bad. Fixed an issue where AI could declare war on a civ with whom they were already at war. Fixed an issue that caused a multiplayer lobby to require joining players to have additional content that wasn't actually needed. Fixed a bug that caused apostles to run out of promotions. Fixed a bug where gaining policy slots mid-turn could block progression. Fixed issues caused by trading lots of great works at the same time. Fixed an issue where turn timers weren't loading correctly from a save. Fixed an issue where Rome's roads would connect to too many adjacent roads. Fixed issue where civs could get another civ's exclusive agenda. Fixed multiple links to the Civilopedia. Fixed issue that could cause menu music to play twice and overlap itself. Fixed an issue that could cause private multiplayer games to become public. Fixed multiple text and grammatical issues. And fixed multiple crashes. Yeah, I was still running into some occasional crashes, so that's good to see. Then we got visuals. Added new art for national parks, updated mines for several eras, updated swordsmen, improved city fading during combat. Multiplayer. Hallowed Ground scenario is no longer playable on huge maps. Voiceover now plays correctly when loading a save. And UI. Resource report now correctly shows resources from several sources. Great people abilities and diplomatic deals. Checkboxes for toggle yields and grid now stay in sync with hotkeys. Improved differentiation in government lanes hex colors. Oh yeah, that's a good one, I like that. That will make it easier to see who exactly has different government without having to check them all individually. Added defeat icon to the endgame results screen. And audio, added sound effect for quick save hotkey. And on top of the update, there are also new DLCs. First of all, there's a new civilization, which is Poland, with a scenario pack. So let's talk about that, shall we? The DLC adds Poland and leader Jadwiga to Civilization 6. Jadwiga was an expert mediator, champion of Catholicism, and protected the poor. You can learn more about her in our blog post. Also included is a new scenario, Jadwiga's Legacy, that tasks players with defending Poland, Prague and Vienna from invading forces comprised of the Teutonic Knights and Ottoman Turks. Gain glory in battle and prove yourself the greatest defender of Poland. Includes the complete Polish civilization with Jadwiga, Winged Hussar unique unit, and Sukiennica unique building. So let's talk about that. Poland's Golden Liberty unique ability allows them to gain territory when they build a fort or encampment, even allowing them to steal territory from other civilizations. So this is the first time in Civilization 6 when you can actually steal territory from other civs, because it was not possible before this. You couldn't steal territory from other civs like you could in Civilization 5. This will be very interesting to see. They also convert a military policy slot into a wildcard slot, giving them extra flexibility in culture. Jadwiga allows you to spread your religion to the nearby city when you gain another civ's territory with Golden Liberty. Her relics provide bonus faith, culture and gold. So these are already pretty strong. I like the wildcard slot. Any flexibility in policies is always a good thing, because it allows you for more playstyles with that civ. And extra faith, culture and gold is also good, obviously. The famous Winged Hussar is strong on the attack and can push back defending units. So that's a similar unit to the Civ 5 equivalent, except in Civ 5 it replaced the Lancer, and the Lancer always had a terrible upgrade path. It should be much more useful in Civ 6, I'm looking forward to using it in practice. Now, I did actually look into the unit and found out some more details for you. And it's unlocked through the Mercenaries Civic, so you unlock it with culture, not with science. It can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how exactly you are playing. And the exact stats of the Winged Hussar are right here. I will actually show them on screen. So it gets 55 melee strength, which is 7 more than the Knight. The Knight gets 48. 4 movement, the base cost is 250 production, and it costs 3 gold in maintenance. So it should be a pretty strong unit. And in addition, it pushes defending enemy units back from their hex in any battle where they score more damage. Defenders that cannot retreat suffer additional damage. So this should be a pretty strong unit. In fact, it will be one of the strongest medieval era units easily. And since it replaces the Knight, it will upgrade to a tank, so that's a good thing. So then we got the unique building. The Sukiennice or Cloth Hall gives bonus production from foreign trade routes and gold from internal trade routes. So I looked into it, and the Sukiennice unique building replaces the market, and it gives you +2 production to all international trade routes from this city, meaning the city that built this building, and +4 gold to domestic trade routes from this city. So that's actually pretty good. That will give you more flexibility with trade routes. Because usually, when you need gold, you go for international trade routes. This way you can get gold from domestic trade routes. And with some of the policies, you will be able to get quite a lot of gold from domestic trade routes as Poland. I like that. And then, play as the Great Polish Noble Lord in the Jadwiga's Legacy scenario. 60 turn limit, defend Poland, Prague and Vienna from invaders, including the Teutonic Knights and Ottoman Turks. Gain glory in battle and prove yourself the greatest defender of Poland. So that's the Poland Civilization and Scenario Pack. Next up, we got the Vikings Scenario Pack. Bring Europe under your rule as the mightiest Viking lord in Vikings, Traders and Raiders. The most detailed scenario released yet for Sid Meier's Civilization 6. The Vikings Scenario Pack includes 6 new city-states added to the base game. Auckland, which is an industrial city-state, additional production for coastal tiles. Antananarivo, everyone's favorite city-state, or Antananarivo. It's a cultured city-state, culture bonus that increases with every great person earned. Then we got Armagh, a religious city-state. Builders can construct the monastery improvement, which provides faith and heals religious units. That's a nice one. Then we got Granada, militaristic. Builders can construct the Alcazar improvement, which protects military units and provides culture. Sounds useful. Doesn't specify what kind of protection we're talking about. I assume a defensive bonus. Then we got Muscat, which is a trade city-state. Bonus amenities in cities with a commercial hub. Again, doesn't say how much exactly we're talking about. But any amenities from commercial hubs are nice. Even +1 would make it nice. And then we got Palenque, which is a scientific city-state. Improved city growth for the cities with a campus. Doesn't say how much exactly we're talking about again, so this will take some testing. And then we got 3 new natural wonders added to the base game. The really funny named volcano from Iceland. I am not going to try pronouncing that, sorry if you're disappointed. Lysefjord and Giant's Causeway. And then we got the actual scenario. Play as the great ruler of the Dark Ages in the Vikings, Traders and Raiders scenario. 100-turn scenario from the year 787 to 1087. Play as Harald Hardrada of Norway, King Canute of the Danes, or Olaf Skotkonung of Sweden. Launch a naval invasion of England, conquer Paris, find Vinland with an explorer, or sail through Gibraltar and raid Mediterranean Sea. Build a trade empire and profitable cities, and spread a religion and gain faith for your people. Includes special art assets for leaders. So, that's basically it. That was the Winter 2016 update and the 2 new DLCs. What do you think about the changes? What do you think about Poland? I think it will be one of the stronger civs. They get a pretty strong unique unit, they get greater flexibility with trade routes thanks to the unique building bonuses, and they can steal tiles from their neighbors. No other civ in the game can do that. So that means you can potentially steal a resource from your neighbor, which was possible in Civ 5, but it wasn't possible in Civ 6 until now. Anyway, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this summary, and I'll see you next time.